There's no denying that wheelchair rugby is a tough and hard-hitting sport. But for women like Mandy Marchiano, mixing it up and trading hits on the floor has become a passion as she works to one day hopefully make it to the elite squad of 12 and be called a Paralympian. Welcome, Mandy.
Hi, Bob. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, Mandy, I scoured the internet doing a lot of research about you and trying to learn as much as I could. And boy, you and Coach Joe Delagrave had a really great conversation. It was really candid. I find it really interesting that you came from a sports world as basically a child where, you were a cheerleader, you were participating in, I don't know, perhaps the daintiest of sports. And now here you are in this unbelievably hard hitting world with violent collisions. How did that happen?
Yeah, so before my accident, I did participate in cheerleading and dance and played soccer. So I was always athletic growing up, but it's no comparison to the full contact sport of wheelchair rugby that I play now. So I love being active again, and I love the full contact sport, and it's been an amazing journey of learning how to play and just meeting so many new people and having fun while doing it.
So let's kind of start with the obvious. The sport has got, so many hard hitting and violent collisions. And I'm sure that, based upon the fact that you want to be involved in rugby, that you're fine with taking the hit. But did you find it sort of difficult to, find that the men would be willing to, plow into you just as they would somebody else?
Actually, that's kind of my favorite part. I grew up with three older brothers, so I grew up in a tough household, and they're very protective of me, but they still treated me just as they did each other, and I found that to be the same when I joined the rugby team. I feel like my teammates are like brothers to me, and they treat me just as they do any other teammate, regardless that I'm a girl. So sometimes it gets used a little bit to an advantage just because of my size, a little bit smaller. But I've learned some chair positioning tricks and how to stay out of the danger zones that they use to knock me out of bounds. So that's one thing I've been working on more.
Mandy, talk about those techniques, because you are considered in the sport what's known as a low pointer, that being a 0.5 or an 0.5. So you're pretty vulnerable out there on the court. You can't really maneuver and get out of the way of these hits. But what are some of the techniques that you've employed as a low pointer to protect yourself and maximize what you can do in the game?
So it's a bit of a joint effort of me recognizing when I'm close to the line and using my chair positioning to, turn my chair and use the wheel as a shield, so that I don't get knocked directly the way that the wheels turn. But then also trusting in my teammates that they have my back and that they'll protect me or let me know when a hit's coming so that I can prepare for it. So it's definitely teamwork when it comes to that, because nobody wants to see an easy turnover of just me going out of bounds. So we work on that a lot.
With the integration of women into the sport, some of the things that I've learned as I've read about, the sport in general and watched it, is that with women coming into the sport, they have actually reduced the point value of you being on the court by 0.5. So talk a little bit about how that strategy takes place for a coach. For instance, he could probably put another 4 player out on the floor who's maybe a little bit more able and willing to handle the ball. So just talk about the aspect of dropping down that half point value.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great strategy to use. Having me as a point 0.5 female that you can deduct that half a point while I'm on the court allows for another higher functioning player to use that half point that I'm taking away. And they're going to have more function and be more likely to score. So if I'm out there doing still the job of a point 0.5, just keeping them free, protecting their front, allowing them to get up the court, not get doubled, allowing them to follow me, use me as a shield. I can block for them, and they can get up the court and score that try. So there's definitely an interesting strategy to use the 0.5 females, and I'm happy to be in that role. I really enjoy the lines that I play in.
I've interviewed Joe Jackson, who's also a fairly low pointer. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's a 1.0. And Joe was sort of indicating that down in those lower point values, he likens himself to being sort of in basketball a point guard, or would you say the same thing for the 0.5, or are you particularly out there to throw picks and wreak havoc?
I'd like to. My job is to really be strategic in being in the way so that it's more difficult for a high pointer to get around me. I just eat up some seconds, and working on transitioning faster. So if I can transition to my spot and get there, then the high pointer is gonna know where I am if I'm consistent with it, and they can use me to protect themselves from getting stuck. So that ability to transition quickly, to know where I'm needed, and then also just thinking ahead, because I'm not fast. There's no way that I can catch up to a lot of these high pointers. But if I'm able to think, a step ahead, about where they're going next, I can get a head start and be there for when they are there.
When I watched that interview with you and Coach Joe Delagrave, I saw him talking a little bit about a couple of the other women in the sport, Sarah Adams and Liz Dunn. And I remember seeing your eyes really light up when he mentioned Liz. I mean, like you had been, waiting to meet her one day and see what she was all about. Liz is more or less, a pioneer. I mean, she made it to the squad of 16. So there's only one more cut beyond that, and that's 12. What is it about Liz's game that inspires you, and what is it that you would want to emulate from what it is that you've seen her do?
I really love Liz. She's a friend of mine, and she's been so kind to answer my questions and guide me through what she's been through. She was kind of the first 0.5 female, I believe, to go up to that level, and she's done so well at it. And so I've learned so much from her, and I just try to emulate what she's doing, because I want to see myself in that spot one day. And she just is so good at it. She's got some great experience. She knows the game really well. She has a great physical threshold that I'm working towards. And I don't want to compare myself to her. I work, to be the best that I can, but I really look up to her, and she's doing an amazing job. So I look forward to seeing her again and playing with her again.
What specific aspects of your game is it that you think you need to elevate or work on in order to be at the next level?
Definitely physical threshold. I have some work to put in to get my sprint times faster. And because it's all about, as a low pointer, you have to, like I said, you have to think ahead and you have to transition faster. And getting down the court and getting to your spot um, quickly is uh, is something to have in your toolbox. So I need to work on my sprint times, getting a faster push. That's something that I have been working on, and then I'm out in playing for University of Arizona now, which has such a great facility to work out in, and I've been out there for just a few months since the beginning of September, and they have such great resources and facilities there that just in the short time that I've been out there, I've seen an improvement in not only my strength and my push stroke and my speed, that um, also just playing with playing with the team. There's a lot of my teammates are on the current USA team or our previous USA team members, and they're so kind and generous to teach me what they know, and we're building chemistry together. And I think the experience that I'm getting with U of A and the D1 level tournaments that I'm competing in with them, and along with the workouts that I do in the gym, will all benefit me when it comes time to try out for the next USA team.
Oh, I think you're right. And when I think about the U of A, I think about Coach Peter Hughes. He's so supportive of everybody down there, and you guys do a really fantastic job. Mandy, one of the things I read about you really quick is came from a local sports reporter. He said that you overcame adversity with grace, determination, and a smile, and you continue to help others while thriving on the thrill of competition. I know that being a peer support, especially to women, has become a passion for you. Speak on that really quick.
Yeah, I mean, so going through the trials that I have with the spinal cord injury, and so many other everybody with a spinal cord injury goes through, trials and sufferings, and through those things you learn perseverance and and how to overcome adversity. And nothing builds confidence faster than uh, overcoming adversity and strengthening your mindset for the next challenge. So, I mean, in my life, since I've had my accident, I see growth every time that I do something that I don't want to do. And I think it's all about just getting out of your comfort zone. And I mean, I was comfortable in Virginia, in my home and my family and my support system that I had for so long. So leaving that to go train for university, or to go train in Alabama for the USA Low Point team and the USA Development Program, and then moving to Arizona, where I'm 2,000 miles away from everything I knew. It was scary, but I was also, presented with this great opportunity to train with the best in the world and learn from them and potentially join them, at the highest level. And that's something that I felt like if I missed out on, I would regret. So, I mean, I like the saying that success favors the brave. So I just felt like I I just knew that I wanted to do it and do it scared. And so I just decided to, be courageous, and I have a strong faith, and just to press on and move forward and step out of the proverbial boat, and, trust that this path that God put me on, and His will for my life would be um, worth it. So, I mean, I can say with 100% confidence that um, in every way, since I said yes to this journey that all that I've needed has been provided. And I think I've jokingly said, I need a shirt that says like God, family, rugby, because that's my life right now. And I think that the more that I trust in Him and put in the hard work on this, incredible path that I'm on, I think that it'll be a good outcome for me and for Team USA. And it's just going to be an amazing testament to what faith and hard work and discipline and commitment can achieve. So.
Well, I couldn't agree more, Mandy. I'm really happy that we had this opportunity to talk. I want to wish you the best of luck and thank you very much for your insights today.
Thank you so much for having me.